In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing Episode 7, Chapter 7 of Pachinko. Chapter 7 was interesting and pretty wild. We start off in 1923 in Yokohama, where we find Kohan-soo, who goes home to his father. Him and his father then go out to a boxing ring for, a night out, and they get an offer to join the Yakuza. Kohan-soo gets that offer. Kohan-soo thinks about it, so does his father, but they turn down an offer politely. And this Yakuza boss evidently tells Kohan-soo that, listen, if you ever want to do something like this in the business and you get older, you have that chance to do that because you have a bright future. Which was really interesting to see Kohan-soo do this. And the reason he turned it down is because he's having a lucrative success right now, what he's doing with tutoring an American family. Now, so-called Andrew, the son of the Holmes family, who is Kohan-soo's tutoring, isn't doing too well with his languages and encourages his parents to take Kohan-soo with him over to America. Now, Kohan-soo goes to his father and tells him what this offer is. And basically, Han-soo tells him to, he believes you only need to be good at one thing and to grab it and then take it with you and don't let it go. So his father supports this, and it's interesting to see Kohan-soo's father support this journey that evidently Kohan-soo is going to go on. Now Kohan-soo thinks, oh, everything's fine with his father, but his father evidently took money from the Yakuza, $200, in order to help a woman who was in need of it. Now this puts Kohan-soo in a dilemma, so to speak, in a way where he has to choose between America or staying and helping his father out. And I'm pretty sure this is all the mist of how he became who he became when you see the older version of Kohan-soo. And a whole chain of events happens between Kohan-soo, the father, the American family he's tutoring, and this and that. And it's a really powerful scene that I didn't expect to happen to Kohan-soo, but it's really different than what you usually see from what this character is now as he's grown up in this show. Now, if you know the history of Japan in 1923, this episode touches on the Great Kanto earthquake, where it leaves complete disarray and devastation, and we find that Kohan-soo is knocked out, his father is killed, and the whole town is covered in this thick cloud and white dust from all these buildings falling. It's a turn of events and situation that I believe makes Kohan-soo into a man because his father was just killed from a natural disaster. So what is he going to do now? The interesting thing about this, and I've touched on this many times over the course of my episodic weekly reviews of this show, the filmmaking aspect is phenomenal. The way the scene is cut, the way the low-key lighting is, the way the cloud is, and the way the emotion and the aspect of how they just put into your mind this devastation of what happened in 1923 with the Great Kanto earthquake is insane. You just feel the emotion. It's just a heavy weight on your shoulders as you're watching what's going on. It's truly remarkable because it's so emotional at times. And even with this scene, it's like, wow. When it said 1923, I didn't really understand what was happening until the earthquake, and I was like, oh, it's the the Kanto earthquake. And if, like I said, if you know your history, you know what happened and read about it. So it's really, really interesting how everything played out. Now, not only that, what happened with the earthquake, there's also a massive prison outbreak too, and 300 Korean prisoners are among those who have escaped. Not only that, it's more tension on top of another, with another death that happened during the earthquake. Everything's chaotic, and Kohan-soo witnesses some things that just no person should ever see in their life, especially with a natural disaster, of how the devastation is going, even with people, the prison outbreak, the craziness that's going on in his mind, and seeing it through his eyes. Now, it's just crazy. And you can see that as he's older, you can see there's some kind of trauma that happened to him. Now, this episode was slowly focused on Kohan-soo from his childhood up until the moment that, you can tell he turned into a man and the person he became in what you see in these previous episodes from episodes 1 through 6. This episode was just devoted in a certain time frame in a year, and that was 1923, during the great earthquake in Japan in Kanto. It's remarkable how things go, and the anger, the craziness, the sadness that happens in this episode is so impactful and so powerful that it's just crazy how it's changed everything, especially with these previous episodes. This is probably my favorite episode of Pachinko because it focused on one character and that was it, which really worked out really well. Lee Min-ho is fantastic in this episode. Probably one of the best acting I've seen ever in a Korean-Japanese combined drama like this. And just, if you understand what this character has gone through from episode 1 up until now, seeing his history, it's just really, really insane and heartfelt and fun. And then now we understand, like I've been saying in this review, we understand the person he's become as he's grown older. That, calculated, cold person because of what happened. This event, this 1923 event, this 1 year, has changed his life forever moving forward. And it's really done really, really well. Cinematography, story, acting is so superb and perfect that it's probably my favorite episode of a show that I've seen in a very, very long time. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 7, chapter 7 of Pachinko. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? And what did you think of the episode being only focused on Ko Han-soo and seeing him from what happened when he was during this year of 1923 up until the previous episodes where he's now a older gentleman and doing certain things, and did this change everything that he was supposed to be and what happened? Of course, we know he was supposed to take one path and another way took him down another. It's interesting how it played out. Let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked, and I'll see you guys in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week for my episode 8 season finale review of Pachinko.